Ricky Tiedemann has been described as a can't-miss prospect by many, and Blue Jay fans can't wait for his arrival. The future is bright, but can he prove to be a secret weapon for Toronto this season? We'll break that down and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. A lot to get into today. Something different. We're going to have a prospect breakdown of one of our most talented players that we've seen in the Blue Jays pipeline in quite some time. But first, I want to thank you all for the support that we've been getting. It's been unreal. We're on the road to 5K subscribers by Christmas time. It's going to be a time crunch, only a few days away till the big day. But first, I want to thank you all and keep the comments going, keep all that going. We love it.
Yeah, we love the discussion. We love the feedback, and we're going to be doing more live streams as well. I know you guys love those. We've been a bit busy recently, but we're going to have those coming up soon. And like you said, this is going to be a fun one, a bit different. Trade rumors dying down a little bit. There's still lots of rumors. We'll be breaking those down to you in future videos, but we're going to take a step back and talk about, our prized possession, Ricky Tiedemann, because it doesn't seem like he's going to be traded. And I think, and we discussed this off camera, he's going to be a secret weapon for us this year in 2023. We truly believe that. And let's just get right into it. So the first screenshot I have to show you here, this is his MLB pipeline, kind of like his summary. So you can see his scouting grades. So the scouting grades go from 20 to 80, 80 being the best. He has a 60 fastball, 55 changeup slider, control 50, overall 55, with an ETA of 24, built at 6'4", 220. Peter, let's just get your initial thoughts on this and him as a whole. Yeah. He's obviously a lefty, and it's just exciting talking about him.
Yeah, well, first I want to clear up that those are 2022 preseason rankings.
Yep.
So those were made before last season even started. Now, I'm sure those grades have skyrocketed up for Ricky Tiedemann. The prospect rankings have not been released yet for 2023. They will soon, but I'm sure his fastball is going to get up there to around 65, and the rest of his attributes are probably going to get up to 60 as well. He's one of the more exciting prospects, not just in the Blue Jays system, but in all of baseball, and a lefty that can throw 96, 97 plus. I mean, there's nothing to not be excited about when it comes to Ricky Tiedemann. The guy is filthy. He's already a polished pitcher in the minor leagues. Like he knows how to pitch. He's not just a thrower. He's a solid pitcher already, and the future is bright for him.
He's so exciting. I can't even compare, maybe like a Vladdy level of hype from internal Jays fans, maybe not the external media, but people are starting to recognize him for what he is, and he skyrocketed through the rankings, kind of like Gabby Moreno did. It's been the theme recently, but I have a few more screenshots to show you. Have a look at these stats in his 2022 season. In A, 1.8 ERA, A+, 2.39, double A, 2.45. His ERA is barely going up as he goes through the rankings, or goes through, the different leagues, and he strikes out a ton. Obviously, he only pitched 78 innings last year, so that might be, an argument against having him come up in 2023. But it's so exciting, and I don't know. I'll drop up another screenshot here. We used this in a previous video. This is from another website. They have him ETA'd 2023, which is what we're hoping for. And people, writers around Twitter and around the Jays are saying he could be our number 5 starter if everything lines correctly. Maybe we make a push to the World Series with Ricky Tiedemann as our 5. That would just be unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't see him being a starter this year for the Toronto Blue Jays because the two stats that stick out to me really are the innings pitched in 2022. So you can't really make the jump from 78 innings to 120 plus. That's not really realistic. They want to take his development slowly, but I think he can play a role out of the bullpen because if you pop up his stats one more time for me, Nick, you see right there in 78.2 innings pitched, 39 hits allowed.
Oh.
That is, I'm no mathematician, but I think that's a hit every 2 innings. And
unreal.
That is unbelievable. So the guy has put away stuff. His slider is disgusting, which you'll see in just a moment. And the guy can run up his fastball to 97, 98. And he's a lefty, something that we don't have, whether it be in the rotation or in the bullpen. So he is going to help out this team whenever he's ready to come up. But if he can come up in 2023 and be a valuable piece out of the bullpen, that's just gravy, Nick.
Yeah, and it's a good point with the bullpen. Obviously, Manoah didn't pitch as many innings and then got brought up because of injuries. We're in a much more stable position now. We have a lot more depth, albeit not the greatest, maybe fans might not like, Mitch White, Yusei Kikuchi, but like you talked about, let's show you guys what Ricky Tiedemann is all about. And I showed
Ooh.
Peter this off camera. It
Oh
is
man.
just I have one more clip to
Play
show
one more
you, but
time. Play it one more
one more
time. Play
time.
it one more time.
Just sweeping. You said he kind of
Oh my
reminds you of
god.
Shane McClanahan a little bit. The delivery is
Yeah.
very similar. They're both lefties. McClanahan is an absolute stud.
The
And if
body type too. The
if
body
Tiedemann
type
turns
too.
into McClanahan,
Just
we're in a good spot. I probably
oh
mispronounced that.
man.
One more pitch for you from a different perspective and called strike three. Uh, I couldn't find many clips of his fastball, but honestly, this is the stuff that you're going to want to see. The movement is unbelievable. Obviously, he throws absolute gas. Throws harder than Alek Manoah. He's a lefty. I don't know. It's unbelievably exciting, and I have some
Yeah.
more screenshots to show you what other people think, but I'll just let you get your reaction from those screenshots. And it's just
He's the perfect prospect, and I've been on record saying that I would only trade him if it were to get us a superstar in return, and I still believe that that should be the case. You only trade him for a guy that you think will put you over the top in 2023. If Ricky Tiedemann won't put you over the top in 2023, and that's what you think your window is, then maybe you make that trade. But otherwise, man, this guy, him and Alek Manoah can spearhead that Jays rotation for the next 10 plus years. And I'm not even sugarcoating that. These guys got electric stuff, and it's going to be special to watch whatever they got going on here.
yeah, I don't even know if they're floating, and no reports have come out about it recently. I don't even know if they're floating
No,
Ricky Tiedemann in trade talks. I feel like they're more likely, and I would say based on all reports, they're more likely to trade Moreno than they will be Tiedemann. Obviously, we need more starting pitching in our rotation now, and like stud starting pitchers. Obviously, Gavin Moreno's a generational talent as well, but Tiedemann just looks. I don't know. He looks unbelievable, and as Jays fans probably have a sweet spot for pitchers like that because Alek Manoah came up and dominated the Yankees. Maybe Tiedemann can come up and do well out of the bullpen. And maybe Nate Pearson, hopefully we don't have a repeat of what happened with Nate Pearson, freak injuries. But he's been durable for the most part. A bit of, I don't know, he needs more innings. That's what it comes down to, which is why he's not going to start the season on the team.
slowly. It's a process when it comes to prospects. Baseball is like the only sport where the draft is kind of irrelevant for about 3 or 4 years after the fact, unless you're a generational talent like Bryce Harper or Mike Trout. You don't necessarily make an impact till you're about 22, 23 years old, and that's early. Even then, that's early. So I don't want to rush Ricky Tiedemann along. I think he's on the right path right now. I still hope that they can limit his innings and hope that he doesn't get injured because like it's not a rush. And if you have guys like Alek Manoah and Ricky Tiedemann spearheading your rotation, it doesn't really matter who else you have on your team because that's like the foundation of a World Series roster right there. Two ace caliber pitchers side by side, and then the rest is basically plug and play. I mean, obviously you're going to try to re-sign Vladdy and re-sign Bo and try to build around Springer as much as you can. But if you have two ace caliber pitchers, the rest of the lineup, I mean, you build it around that. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, and if Tiedemann does what he's, I guess not, I don't want to say he's supposed to do, but does what he's capable of doing, Manoah, Tiedemann, Barrios, Gausman, Bassett for the next 3 years, that is one of the best, if not
Scary.
debatably the best, depending how Tiedemann does and if Barrios bounces back. It has the potential to be the best, you know, pitching staff in the AL and the MLB. And talking about Tiedemann some more, this is what Ben Nicholson Smith tweeted. A couple weeks ago, he said, heard from one longtime baseball person who sees Ricky Tiedemann as a potential impact arm for the Blue Jays at some point in 2023. And it goes on to show his stats. He's only 19 years of age, and it is just truly unbelievable. And this was from yesterday. He's, I believe he's like an MLB, scout writer, a prospect writer, saying, writing Ricky Tiedemann's report for Prospects Live, the more video I watch, the more difficult it becomes to find weaknesses. Sometimes struggles to repeat his delivery, which leads to command issues, but they are so limited. Easy to see why he is the Blue Jays' top prospect. This stuff gets me excited. You have, he's not a Jays fan necessarily. He's just, a fan of prospects, and he's piping up Ricky Tiedemann. We have Ben Nicholson Smith saying potentially as early as 2023, and I don't know. It might be time to start having the conversation that he could potentially have an impact next year, and if not, either way, beyond next year, of course, is in the picture for sure.
Well, I could see him being part of our September call-ups. He
I agree.
obviously won't
I agree.
start the season in in Toronto out of spring training. That's just unrealistic. It's unfair to him, and that's how you stunt a player's development. So I think he still needs a little bit of time to marinate in AA or in AAA, and just see how he does, and then play it by ear. So if he's tearing it up in the minor leagues, which I'm sure he will, you call him up in September, give him maybe a couple innings out of the bullpen, see what he can do, and if he's valuable in that aspect, then you put him on your postseason roster, and if he's big time like you say he is, then you trust him in those playoff moments. And he's going to be 21 years old by the time September call-ups come around, so he'll have a lot more experience under his belt, and 1 year for a prospect goes a long way. So I think he can help us out. I think he will help us out next year, and I think that's why the Jays are not necessarily pushing the envelope here when it comes to making another move.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up that exact point, at least for a pitcher. And, you saw in our video yesterday that Ross Atkins basically said, while they're open to going for another starter, they're aiming for a bat. And I think some of that subconsciously even has to do with the fact that Ricky Tiedemann is lurking and he's the next up and he is our best prospect in
Mhm.
the pipeline. After him, there is a few other intriguing prospects. So if you guys like this type of video, we can definitely break down some other ones. We had, our first round pick last year was he's looking really good. We have tons of Addison Berger. We already made a video about. It's looking promising. It's not the farm system it once was with Vladdy, Bo, Biggio, all those guys, but there's still a lot of hidden gems there.
Yeah. Yeah, let me say this before we go out. Ricky Tiedemann is him.
All right, well, that's true, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.